Hi guys, welcome back to another video of GreatStack. In this video we will learn complete Node.js. So let's start with what is Node.js. Node.js is an open source cross-platform runtime environment that allows developers to execute JavaScript code outside of a web browser. It was developed by Readline in 2009 and it is built on Google Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine. Traditional JavaScript, which is primarily used for client-side scripting in web browsers, Node.js enables developers to use JavaScript for server-side programming, allowing for the creation of a scalable network applications. Now let's see the key features of Node.js. So Node.js has asynchronous and event-driven feature. It is single-threaded but highly scalable. Node.js is fast and lightweight. It has a rich ecosystem with NPM, Node Package Manager, and it is cross-platform. It means you can use Node.js on any operating system like Windows, Linux, or Mac. Now let's see the common use cases of Node.js. We can use Node.js for web application development. We can use Node.js to create the API services. We can also use it in real-time applications. We can create microservices using Node.js, and even we can create serverless computing using Node.js. Overall, Node.js is popular for its performance, scalability, and large ecosystem, making it a perfect choice for developers building modern data-intensive applications. After that, we will see how to install Node.js in our system. For that, we will come to desktop screen, and here we will open the web browser. And here we will search for Node.js. Open this link, nodejs.org. Now just click on this download Node.js LTS version. Now we have downloaded this installation file. Just open this file. So this is the Node.js setup window. Let me minimize this browser and let's click on this next button. We will click on this checkbox and click on next button. Again click on next and next and next. Then click on install. So it is installing the Node.js on our computer. Now you can see the message completed the Node.js setup wizard. After that, click on this finish button. Next, we have to verify the installation. So to verify the installation, just open the terminal. And in this terminal, first we will write node-v. Now you can see we have the version 22.12. It means the Node.js is successfully installed. Now we will verify the npm install. So just type npm-v. Now you can see the npm version, that is Node Package Manager. After that, let's minimize this terminal, and here on this desktop we will create a new folder. So right click and select new folder and write the folder name Node.js. So we have created this folder. After that, we will open this folder, and in this folder we will create a new file. So to create a new file, simply right click, select new and create a text document and write the file name app.js. From here we will remove this .txt extension and press enter. Then click on yes. Now you can see we have created this app.js file. And if I open this file in Notepad, so you can see this file is open in Notepad. After that, here we will write one statement that will be console.log, and in this one we will add the message that is hello developers. After that, save the changes, and next we have to run this file. So to run this file we will use node. So let's open the terminal again. Now you can see we are on the user directory and this is the username. After that, we will come to the desktop folder. After that, we will come to Node.js folder that we have created on our desktop. Now we are in the Node.js directory. Here we will write ls. So you can see we have this app.js file. Now we will run this file using Node.js. So to run this file, here we will type node. After that, we will provide the file name that is app.js. Then press enter. Now you can see the message that is hello developers. So basically the control commands print the message on our console, that is the terminal. So this is how we can run a simple Node.js application. After that, we will close this terminal and close this file also. Now we will open this Node.js directory in VS Code editor. So simply right click, select show more option and select open with code. Now you can see here we have the Node.js folder open in VS Code, and here we have this app.js file. After that, we will understand the Node.js architecture. As we know, Node.js is single-threaded and event-driven architecture. So let's talk about single-threaded. Normally, many programming environments use multiple threads or workers to handle tasks, especially when doing lots of things at once. Node.js, however, uses just one thread. It can do this because it relies on something called the event loop to manage multiple tasks without needing multiple threads. Now let's talk about event-driven. Think of Node.js as someone who is great at multitasking. Instead of waiting for one task to finish, Node.js can start a task, move on to the next one and check back on the first task when it's done. Now this is possible because of event loops. So let's discuss about the event loop. The event loop is what makes Node.js able to do multitask. So let's see how it works. So in the event loop, we have the timers which handle the scheduled tasks like set timeout and set interval. After that, we have the pending callbacks that deals with tasks that are delayed until the next loop. After that, we have this poll which will listen for the new task such as reading from files or receiving data from the internet, etc. After that, we have check that run callbacks from set immediate. And the last one is close callbacks that handle events like closing a file or network connection. Now we will discuss about non-blocking input-output in Node.js. So non-blocking means Node.js does not wait for tasks to finish before moving on to the next one. For example, if Node.js asks for data from database, it won't sit and wait for the data. Instead, it will move on and handle another task until the data is ready. It makes Node.js very efficient at handling many requests at once rather than pausing. It is continuously moving from task to task, which helps make your application faster and more responsive. Now let's talk about V8 JavaScript engine. Node.js is built on V8, the same engine that powers Google Chrome. V8 takes JavaScript code and quickly turns into machine code that your computer can understand. This makes running JavaScript really fast. Now let's talk about the garbage collection. V8 also automatically cleans up unused memory. so you don't have to worry about your application running out of memory as it runs. Just-in-time compilation. V8 compiles JavaScript on the fly while your app runs, which helps make it even faster. Now after that, we will talk about modules. Node.js modules refer to JavaScript files that contains reusable piece of code, such as middleware, routes, controllers, utilities, and configurations. These modules help organize an application into a smaller, manageable chunks, making the codebase more modular, readable, and maintainable. Now let's talk about the type of modules in Node.js. There are mainly three types. First is code modules, that is the pre-built modules in Node.js like HTTP, FS, that is file system, path, and etc. There are some third-party modules like Express.js, .env, body parser, etc. that we can install using Node Package Manager. And at last we have this custom modules. That means we can create a custom modules to reuse a piece of code multiple times in multiple files. That will help us to make the code base more readable and modular. After that, Node.js provides a set of code modules that allow you to perform essential tasks such as handling files, creating web servers, working with file paths. These modules are built into Node.js, so you don't need to install them separately. Let's go through some of the commonly used code modules with beginner-friendly examples. So first we will see File System module. The file system modules let us interact with the file system on the computer. By using the file system, we can read, write, and delete the files and directory on our file system. So first we will read a file using this file system. So we will come back to the VS Code editor, and in this one, let's open app.js file. And from here, let me remove this line. And to use the file system, first we have to get the file system module in a variable. So just add const fs equal to required, and in this one we will add fs, that is file system. After that we will write fs dot read file, and here we have to provide the parameters, that is the file name, file format, and callback function. So first let's create one example.txt file in this Node.js folder that we will read from this file system. So here we will create a new file and name the file example.txt. Now in this file we have to add some text. So I have added this dummy text. After that, save the changes. Now just come back to the app.js file, and here in this read file method we will provide the first parameter, that is our file name. So just add example.txt. After that we will add the format of this file, that is UTF-8. After that we will add one function, and in this function we will get two parameters, that is error and data. So while reading the file, if we get any error, then we will get that error in this parameter. And if we don't have any error, in that case we will get the text from this file, that is example.txt, in this data variable. So here we will add the if statement, and here we will check if we have any error. In that case we will console that error. So just add console.error, and provide this error from the parameter. After that, we will add return. And if we don't have any error in that case, we will add console log, and in this one we will console log this data. Now save the changes, and in this directory we have the app.js file and example.txt file. Now in this Node.js directory, we will open the integrated terminal. So right click here and select open in integrated terminal. Now you can see we are on this Node.js directory. Here we will run this app.js file. So just add node app.js and press enter. Now you can see we have all the text in the console log from this example.txt file. This is how we can read file from the file system. After that, we will see how to write a file using this file system. To do that, simply commit this one, and here we will create a variable using const, and the variable name is content. And here we will add one message, hello Node.js. After that, we will use the file system, and in this one we will use .writeFile method. In this method, we have to provide three parameters, that is file name, content that we want to write, and the callback function, where if any error occur, we will get the error message. So here we will add the file name, output.txt. After that, we will add the content that we will add in this file. Now simply edit this variable that contains this message, and here we will add the function. In this function parameter, we will get one parameter, that is error, and if we get any error, then the error will be added here in this function parameter. Now simply add the if statement, and here we will check if we get any error. In that case, we will add the console.error and provide this error. After that, we will add the return statement, and if we don't get any error, in that case we will add the console log, and in this console log we will add the message, that is file written successfully. Now save the changes, and after that we will run this file again. So to run this file, we will write node app.js. Now you can see we have the console log, file written successfully, and in the left sidebar in this Node.js directory we have the output.txt file, and in this one we have this message, hello Node.js, that is saved in this variable. So this is how we can write files using the file system. We will discuss the file system deeply later in this video. Now we will learn about the next core module, that is HTTP. So the HTTP module allows us to create a web server that can listen to client request and send the response. So let's understand it by using an example. So we will come back to the VS Code, and here we will comment this code. After that, first we have to get the HTTP module. For that, we will come here and we will write const HTTP equal to required, and in this one we will provide HTTP module. Now we have this module HTTP, Now come here and we will create a simple server using this HTTP module. To create it, first we will create a variable. So just add const server, and here we will use this HTTP module. After that, here we will use the create server method, and in this method we will get one callback function. So let's add the function. In this function we will get two parameters, that is request and response. So we have the request and response in this function parameter. After that, we will use this response to create a response for the user request. So here we will write response.status code, and we will send this status code 200. After that, here we will add response.set header, and here we will set one header, that is content type. After that, we will add text plain. So we have set the header. After that, we have to close this response so that user will get the response in their server. After that, we have to end this response, so just add response.end method that will end the response and send back to the user. So in this end method, we will add the text message, that is hello world. So we have created one basic server that will send the status code, set the header, and send the message in response, that is hello world. Now we will use this server object to create this server. For that, here we will write server.listen, and here we have to provide two parameters, that is port number and callback function. So here we will add the port number 3000, so the server will start on port 3000. After that, we will get one callback function. In this function, we can call the console log to display the message in console. So just add console.log, and in this one we will add the message, that is server running at HTTP localhost port 3000. So our basic server is ready. Now we can run this file to start our server. So save the changes and come to this terminal, and here we will write node app.js, then press enter. Now you can see the message server running at HTTP localhost port 3000. Now we will come back to the web browser, and here we will open the URL localhost:3000 and hit enter. Now you can see on this browser we have this message hello world. We are getting this message because when we hit any URL, it will hit as a GET request that is handled by the server. Then the server send the status code 200, and the content type will be text plain, and here we have added the message, that is hello world, and the same message is visible on our browser. So this is how we can use the HTTP module to create a basic server. Now we will learn about the next core module, that is path. So the path module helps us to work with file directory in a way that is compatible across different operating systems. So let's understand it using an example. So just come back to the VS Code, and in this VS Code our server is still running. So to stop this server, we will press Ctrl C, that will stop this server. After that, we will comment this line, and here we will see the example of path module. So first we have to get the path module. For that, here we will write const path equal to required, and here we will add the path module. Now we have this path module. Now we will see one common example where we will join and resolve the path. For that, here we will add one variable. So just add const directory, and here we can add user/local. After that, we will create one more variable with the name file name. So just add const file name equal to, and here we will add the file name, that is example.txt. So here we have this directory and file name. Now suppose if we want path of this file that is in this directory, then to get the full path we can use the path module. So let's see how to do it. We will add const full path equal to, and here we will use the path module dot join method that will help us to join the directory and file name. So just add the parameter, that is directory, and the file name parameter. So we have provided two parameters, that is directory and file name. Now we will add the console log, and in this one we will console log the full path. After that, let's run this file. So before that, save the changes, and here in this terminal we will write node app.js. Now you can see it will automatically join the path, and here we have the /user/local/example.txt. So this is the basic example of the path module using the join method. We will see the path module in more details further in this video. Now we will learn about the next core module, that is OS. So the OS module provides information about the operating system such as CPU architecture, free memory, total memory, and system uptimes. So let's understand the OS module using an example. So just come back to the VS Code, and we will comment these code. To use the OS module, we have to get it. So here we will create one variable with the name OS, and we will add required, and in this one we will provide this module name, that is OS. After that, here we will add the console log, and in this one we will check our OS details. So simply add the text, that is platform, and to see the platform details we will add OS module dot platform method, and it will return us the platform detail of our system. Now save the changes and run this file again. So again write node app.js. Now you can see we have the platform, that is Win32. So this is the architecture on which our computer is running. Now to get more details about the system, let's add one more console log. So just copy and paste this one. Instead of this platform, we will add CPU architecture. Here we will add OS dot arch method that will return the operating system architecture. Now save the changes, and again write node app.js in the terminal. So now you can see we have the platform, then this CPU architecture. Now just copy this one and paste one more time. Here we will write total memory, and to get the total memory of the system, simply write os dot total mem. This method will return the total memory available in our system. After that, let me duplicate this console log, and here we will write free memory, and in this OS module we will use dot free mem method that will return us the free memory available on our system. Now save the changes and again run the node app.js file. Now you can see we have the platform, CPU architecture, total memory and free memory. So the data that we are getting here in the total memory and free memory, that data is in the byte. So if you want to convert it in the kilobyte and megabyte, then we have to divide it by 1024. Now we will see the next core module, that is URL. So the URL module allows us to parse and construct the URL, making it easy to handle web addresses. So let's understand it with one example. So just come back to the VS Code and comment these code. So first we have to get the URL module. So just add const URL equal to required, and here we will write URL. After that, here we will create one variable, that is my URL, and here we will create a new URL object using this URL module. To create it, first we have to provide one URL. So just add https example.com port 8080 path name query and hello hash. Suppose you have to get the host name of this URL, then we have to use this my URL object that is created using this URL module. So we'll add console log, and here in this console log we will add host, and after that we will add comma, and in this one we will add my URL dot host property. So it will return the host of this URL. So save the changes and run this file again. So we will add node app.js. So now you can see we have the host name, that is example.com port 8080. And if we want to get the path name, then simply create a copy of this console log and we will add path name. To get the path name of this URL, we have to use my URL dot path name property. So it will give us the path of the URL. Save the changes and run this code. Now you can see we have the host name and path name, that is /path/name, that is the path. Suppose if we have to get the parameter from the URL, for that we will create one more copy of this console log, and instead of this path name we will add search params, and after that here we will add my URL dot search params dot get method. In this one we will add the params name, that is query. So let me just copy it from here and paste it here. Now if I save the changes and come to this terminal and run this code again, now you can see here we have the host name, path name and search params, that is hello. By using this URL module, we can easily break down the URL in the part like host, path name and query parameters. After that we will learn about one more core module, that is crypto. Crypto module provides cryptography functionalities such as generating hashes or encrypting the data. So let's understand it by using an example. So let's come back to the VS Code and we will comment these code. And here we will get the crypto module. So we will add const crypto equal to required and provide the module name crypto. After that, here we will create one hash code using this crypto module. So first we will create one variable const has equal to, and here we will use crypto module, and in this one we will use create has method. There are multiple type of hashes, so here we will define which type of hash we are going to use to hash the data. So we will add SHA-256. After that, here we will use this hash object, and in this one we will get one update method. And if we provide any data in this update method, then it will hash that message. So here we will provide the message, that is hello world. So this update method will hash the method with the string, that is hello world. So after that we have to finalize the hash. To finalize the hash, we have to add hash.digest method, and in this one we have to provide the type, that is hexadecimal. The digest method will finalize the hash and return the result as a hexadecimal string. So to see the hexadecimal string, here we will add console log, and to see the hexadecimal string we have to just cut this line from here and we will provide it here in this console log. Now save the changes, and after that we will run this code. So just add node app.js. Now you can see we have the hexadecimal string that contains our message hello world. So in this code we have simply created the hash using this string, and we have converted it into hexadecimal string. So this is how we can cryptograph the text using this crypto module. So these core modules cover wide range of functionality. Now we'll see how to create a custom core module and export them from the file. So let's come back to the VS Code editor, and here we will see how to create a module. For that, first we will create a new file in this Node.js folder. Just click on this icon and write the file name, that is greetings.js. So just write greetings.js. In this file, first we have to create a function. So we will create a function. We will name the function, that is say hello, and in the parameter we will add the name parameter. After that, this function will take this name and return the greeting message, that is hello and this name. For that we will add the return, and after that we will use the template literal. So to use the template literal we will add the backtick, and here we will add the message, that is hello. After that we will add $sign curly braces and provide this parameter name. So we have simply created one function that will create a greeting message. After that we have to export this function as a module. So to export this function as a module, simply use module.exports, and in this one we will add say hello. So here we have a function say hello, and we have exported it using module exports. Now save the changes, and let's see how to use this module in our main file, that is app.js. So first let's comment these code, and first we have to get that module. So here we will create one variable, that is say hello equal to required, and in this one we will add the module. So to get the module, simply write /, and here we have this file greetings. So select this one. So we have this say hello module from this greetings file. Now to use this module, simply create a variable const message equal to, we will call this say hello module, and in this one we will add the message, that is developers. After that, we will add the console log to see this message. So simply provide this message. Now save the changes and run this file, that is app.js. To run this file, we will add node app.js. Press enter. Now you can see the message, hello developers. And here we have used the custom module, that is say hello. Now we will see how to export multiple modules from a single file. For that, we will create a new file and name the file math.js. So here we will create some simple modules. So we will use exports.module name, that is add. After that, simply add one inline function, and in the parameter we will get two parameters, that is a and b. After that, here we will return a plus b. This is the add module that will simply add two parameters and return the value. Similarly, we will create one more module, so simply add exports.subtract, and here we will get two parameters, that is a and b. And in this one, we will return a minus b. Here we have to correct it, it will be exports. So in this math.js file, we have added two modules, that is add and subtract. Now save the changes and come back to the app.js file. To use that module, first we have to get that module. So here we will get that module. So we will write const math equal to require, and in this one we will provide /math file. So here we have this math module in which we have multiple modules like add and subtract. So let's see how to use it. So here we will simply add one more console log, and in this one we will call math.addModule. So here we have two modules, add and subtract, in this suggestion. So just click on this add, and in this one we have to provide two numbers. So just add 5 and 3. Create one more copy of this one, and instead of this math.add, we will add math.subtract. So here we have added math modules, add and subtract. Save the changes and we will run this file. So just add node app.js. So now you can see here we have this hello developers, then 8 and 2. So these modules are working fine. So this is how we can create multiple modules in a single file and export them from the file. Now we will learn how to use third-party modules from Node Package Manager, that is NPM. So Node Package Manager is a default package manager for the Node.js. It allows us to install, update or delete the packages or libraries. Now let's understand it using an example. So just come back to the VS Code editor. We will close the remaining files. Let's comment this code. To use the npm, here simply add npm in the terminal, and to install any package, we will add the install command. After that, we have to provide the package name. So if we come back to the web browser, and if I search for npm, so this is the npmjs.com. Here we can search for the packages. So let's search for one package, that is Lodash. So here we have this package with this name. If I open this package, here we have the command to install this package, and here we have the documentation how to use this package. So this is the package to manage the array and a string efficiently. So let's install and try this package. Just click on the copy button and it will copy the command, and you can directly paste it in the terminal to install it. So here we have to add npm install Lodash We can also write npm I and the package name. That will also do the same thing. Now press enter and it will install this package. Now you can see we have the message added one package in 3 seconds. And if you see this file system, here we have this 2 new files and 1 folder, that is node modules. And here we have the package.json and package.log.json. In this package.json, if I open it, you can see we have the dependencies. And in this dependencies object, we have the package name that we have installed here. With that, we have the package version. Suppose we are getting any project and at that time the version is same, and further if I install the package from the package.json, then it will install the same version of the package. So it will run the project efficiently. So the package.json manages all the dependencies installed in our project, and the package log.json contains more metadata about the package. Now we'll see how to use this package. If I come to the documentation, you can see in Node.js we have to import this package. So just come back to the app.js file, and here we will import that module. So just add const, we will add the name, that is lodash equal to required, and here we will add package name lodash. So we have successfully imported this module. By using this module, we can perform multiple operations on the array and a string. So let's try it with an array. So here we will create one variable, that is numbers, that contains an array, and in this array we will add some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that we will create one more variable, that is reversed, and we have to reverse this array and save it in this reversed variable. To do that, simply use this package, that is lodash, and then we will add the dot. Now in this module we have many methods like add, after, apply, assign, and many more. So here we will use the reverse method, and in this one we will simply provide our numbers array. So this module will simply reverse the array and save it in the new variable, that is reversed. So let's add the console log, and we will add this variable, that is reversed. Now save the changes, and we have to run this file. So just add node app.js. Now you can see we have one array where we have the numbers, that is in the descending order. This is how we can install a package using npm, that is Node Package Manager, and we can use it in our Node.js project. Now we will see some common commands of npm and flags. So we have seen the installation command, that is npm install or npm I. Now we will see how to install any packages for development purpose only. Suppose we have to install one package for the development purpose only. For that we will write npm install, and the package name, let's add nodemon. So this package will help us to rerun the project whenever any changes has been detected in the file. So to install this package, simply press enter. But if you want this package only for the development purpose, then we can use the flags. So if we write -- save -dev, so we can install this package for the development purpose only. If I press enter, now you can see the package has been installed, and if I open package.json file, here we have the load as in the dependencies array, and here we have nodemon in the dev dependencies array. So in the production, we don't need to install this. We will only install this dependency to run the project in the deployment. Now we'll see how to update any package. So to update any package, simply write npm update, and here we have to provide the package name. So let's add the nodemon only. So we will add nodemon. Now you can see we have the message up to date, and if your package is old, then your package will be updated using this npm update command. Suppose we have to remove this package nodemon. In that case, we will write npm uninstall. After that, we have to provide the package name. So we will write nodemon. Now you can see removed 29 packages and audited 2 packages in 1 second. So we have successfully removed the new package, that is nodemon. So this is how we can install, update and remove packages using npm, that is Node Package Manager. Now we will learn about file system streams. A stream is an extract interface for working with data that is streamed in chunks rather than being read or written all at once. It will help us to save system memory. Suppose if we want to read any file that is in 1 GB in size, in that case, if we normally read that file, then the 1 GB RAM of the server will be used. To overcome that problem, the file system streams are introduced that reads the big files in chunks by chunks, which help us to save the memory on our server. Streams in file system module follow the Node.js stream API. If we open the web browser and search for Node.js stream API, here we will get this documentation. As you can see in this documentation, we have many options that we can perform on the streams. So here we have the writable stream, then we have this readable streams. Similarly, we have this duplex and transform streams. And here we have the streams methods that we can use on our file. So readable streams are used for reading the file's data. Similarly, writable streams are used to write data on the file system. Duplex streams are used for both readable and writable work at the same time. And the transform streams, that is duplex streams that can modify or transform the data as it is written and read. So we will see the example of this readable streams. To see this example, first we will open VS Code editor and we will close this file and open app.js file. Let me comment these code. After that, here we have got the file system. We will use this file system to perform the stream operations. So first we will see how to perform the readable streams. For that, we will create one variable, that is readable streams. So just add const readable stream equal to, and here we will use the file system dot create read stream, and in this one we have to provide 2 parameters. So in this parameter we have to provide the file name that we have to read, and the second parameter will be encoding of the file type. So let's add the file name, that is example.txt, that is available in this folder that we have created earlier in this video. So just add example.txt. After that, in the second parameter we will add the object where we will define encoding. Here encoding will be UTF-8. So we have created this readable stream. We will use this stream to read the file. So in this stream we have the multiple events. So here we will add readable stream, and here we will add one listener by using this on method, and here we will add the listener event, that is data. So we have subscribed this data event, and after that we have to add one callback function. In this function we will get the parameter, that is chunk. Now this event will help us to parse the file in this smaller chunk. So here we will add console log to see the chunk messages. So simply add chunk. After that we will add one more event. So let's add readable stream dot on, and here we will add the event listener, that is end. So whenever we will completely read the file, then this end listener will be called and this function will be executed. So in this function simply add console log, and here we will add the message, that is finished reading the file. After that we will add one more event listener, that is readable stream dot on, and event name will be error. Suppose if we get any error on the process of reading the file, then this event will be executed. So it will execute this function, and here we will get the error object. So just add the error in this parameter. Now in this function we will console log the error. So just add console.error and provide text, that is error, and after that we will add the comma, and here we will add the error that we are getting from the function parameter. So we have added 3 event listener, that is data, end and error. Now we have to save the file and we will run this file again. So let's write node app.js, press enter. Now you can see we have all the text from this file, that is example.txt, and after that we have this console log, that is finished reading the file, that we are getting from this end event. So the key point to remember about this readable stream is this create read a stream will help us to read the file in chunks, and we can also subscribe the event like data, end and error that will help us to read a file efficiently. This is how we can read any file using the readable stream. After that we will see how to write a file using the write stream. For that, just comment these lines from here. Now to create the writable stream, first we have to create one variable. So we will write const writable stream equal to file system, and here we will use create write a stream, and in this method we have to provide the parameter, that is our file name in which we want to save the data. Here you can see we already have this output.txt file, so here we will provide another file name output2.txt. Now to write the data on this writable stream, we will use this writable stream dot write method, and in this method we can provide the data. So let's add hello, and after that we will add some other data also. So we can write writable stream dot write method, and in this one we will add world. After that, to finish the writable stream, here we have to call the write stream dot end method. So the end method will signals the writing end process. So after that we will add one event listener also. So just add writable stream dot on method, and here we will subscribe the event that is finish, and after that we will add the callback function, and in this function we will add the console log, and in this console log we will add the message. So we will add the message that is finished writing to the file. After that we will save the changes, and here we will write node app.js in the terminal. Now you can see the left sidebar. Here we have output2.txt, and in the terminal we have this message finished writing to the file. If we open this output2.txt, we have the message hello world. So we can write the data in the chunks form. If you have a large form, then you can write the files in chunks that will help us to manage the memory on the server. So this is how we can write the files using the writable stream. Now we will see what is piping streams. The piping streams in Node.js allows you to efficiently transfer data from one stream to another stream, processing it in chunks. Suppose we have the multiple streams and we want to connect it one by one, then we can use the piping. So let's understand it with one easy example. So just come back to the VS Code editor and we will comment this code. After that we will create two streams, that is the readable and writable streams. So just add const readable stream equal to file system dot create read stream, and here we have to add the file name. To add the file name we will use this example.txt. So just write example.txt. After that we will create one more variable that will be writable stream, and here we will use the file system dot create writable stream, and here we have to provide the file name, that is example output.txt. Suppose we have to create a logic that will read the file and write it to the another file. So we are copying the same file with the different name. So to do this we are going to use the piping. So let's see how to use the piping in Node.js. So first we have to read the file. So we will add readable stream, and then we will use dot pipe method, and in this one we will simply add the writable stream. After that, on the writable stream we will add one event listener that will be finish, and here we will add this function that is called whenever the operation is finished. So here we will add the console log, and in this console log we will add the message that is file copied successfully. Now we have to save this file and run this code. For that, in this terminal we will write node app.js and press enter. If you see in this sidebar we have this example output.txt file, and in this terminal we have the message file copied successfully. Let's open this example output.txt file. So here we have all the text that is available on this example.txt file. So here we have just copied this file with the name example output.txt file. So this is how we can use the pipe to connect multiple streams together. After that we will see how to perform operations on a large file. For that, let's comment these code, and here we will see how to perform operation on large file. So we don't have any large file, so we will take this example.txt as a large file. So here we will add const, then add the variable that is readline equal to, and here we will use require and here we will add Readline that is pre-built on the Node.js. So here we have this module Readline variable. Now we will use this module to perform operation on the larger file. For that, let's create one read stream. So just add const readable stream equal to file system dot create read stream, and in this one we have to provide the file name, that is example.txt. So we have the file example.txt. After that, we will create a variable that will be rl, and we will add equal to readline, and here we will use dot create interface. In this method we have to provide the input stream that we want to read line by line. So simply add curly braces and define the input that will be the readable stream. To read a file line by line, here we have used this read line that is pre-built in the Node.js, and after that we have used this create interface method in which we have provided the input, that is the readable stream. After that, we will subscribe one event on this rl variable. So we will add rl.on, and the event will be line, and here we will add the function, and in this one we will get the parameter that is line. Suppose we have the multiple line in this example.txt file, so let's open example.txt, and here we'll create some multiple lines. So we'll press enter here. So we have these data in multiple lines. Now we'll get these lines one by one on this function. So here we will add console log, and in this one we will console log the lines. So we will write line, and after that we will add this comma and provide this parameter line that we are getting from this function. After that we will subscribe one more event, so we'll write rl.on, and here we will subscribe the event that is close. After that we will add the callback function, and in this function we will add the console log, and in this console log we will add the text that is finished processing the file. So whenever we will completely read the file line by line, then this event will be called, that is close, and when this event will be called, in that case this message will be printed in the terminal. So let's save the changes, and after that we have to run this code. So just add node app.js and press enter. Now you can see we have the data line by line using this readline module. Suppose we have the 10 GB of data and we have to perform the operation on that data. In that case we can use this readline and readable stream together to perform operation on the larger file. It will help us to manage the memory efficiently, faster processing and event driven. That will help us to stream the data on the basis of the event. After that we will see how to work with directories in Node.js. So working with directories in Node.js involves using the file system modules to create, read, update, delete and manage directories. The file system module provides both synchronous and asynchronous method to handle directory related tasks. So first we will see how to create a directory in Node.js. So here you can see we have two methods to create a folder in Node.js. So the first one is asynchronous method, that is mkdir, and the second method is synchronous method, that is mkdir sync. So we will see both methods and we will create folders using this method. For that, we will come back to the VS Code editor and here we will comment this code. So to create the folder, first we need the file system module that is already imported. Here, as you can see here in the line 1. Now to create a folder using the asynchronous method, first we will use the file system dot mkdir method, and in this one we have to provide the two parameters. So the first parameter will be folder name. So we will provide new directory. After that, we will add the callback function. In this callback function, if any error occurs during the creation of this folder, then we will get that error in this parameter. So just add the error. By running this command, we can simply create a folder. Before that, here we will add the if statement and here we will add the error. And if we get any error, in that case we will display the message. So just add return and we will write console.error, and in this one we will add the message that is error creating directory, and after that we will add the comma and provide the error that we are getting from the parameter. Suppose if we don't get any error, in that case we will add the console log, and in this one we will add the message that is directory created successfully. Now we have to save the changes and we will run this code. So just add node app.js. Now you can see in this terminal we have the message directory created successfully, and in the Node.js folder we have one new folder with the name new directory, as you can see in this sidebar. So this is how we can create a folder in Node.js using this asynchronous method. Now we will see how to create a folder using synchronous method. So here we will add file system dot mkdir sync, and in this one we have to provide directory name. So just add new directory, and after that we will add the log, and in this console log we will add the message that is directory created successfully. Just copy and paste it here. Now we will comment this one, and here we will name this new directory that is new directory true. We will save the changes, and if I come to terminal and write node app.js, now you can see we have the message directory created successfully, and in this sidebar we have the new directory true folder in this Node.js folder. So this is how we can create new folders in file system using the file system module. Now we will see how to read a directory. For that, let's comment this one, and we will see how to read a directory. We can use the file system readDir method to list the contents of a directory. So here first we will see how to read a folder asynchronously. So to read a file, we will write file system dot readdir, that is directory, and in this one we will add the directory that we want to read. Suppose we want to read the files from this Node.js folder and we want all these files. So simply write /, that will give us the directory of this Node.js. After that we will add the callback function, and in this function we will get the parameter that is error and files. So here we will get two parameters. If we get any error, then we will get it in this error parameter, and if we get the files, then we will get it in second parameter. Let's try to log the file in console. So first we will check if we have any error. So we'll add the error in console. So just add return console dot error. And after that we will add the message that will be error reading directory. After that we will add the comma and provide this error from the parameter. And if we don't get any error, in that case we will add the console log, and in this one we will console the message that is directory content, and after that we will add the files. Now we will save the changes, and after that we will run this code. So just add node app.js, press enter. So as you can see, here we have the directory content and one array, and in this array we have all the file name and the directory name available in this root folder, that is Node.js. So this is how we can read the files from the file system. Now we will see how to read the files using the synchronous method. Here we will add const files equal to fs, that is file system dot read did sync, that is read directory sync. This will help us to read the directory using synchronous method. So here simply provide the path, that is /, and after that we will add the console log. So just copy the console log from here and paste it here. Now we will commit this previous code and save the changes. Now we will run this code. So just add node app.js and press enter. Now you can see we have the same result, that is directory content and all the files. So this is how we can read the directories in Node.js. After that we will see how to check whether a directory exists or not. So here we can use this exist sync or file system access method to check if a directory exists or not. So let's understand it with one example. So we will come to VS Code editor and we will comment this code. After that we will create a variable. So just add const, write the variable name, dir name, that is directory name, and we will provide the directory name. So we will provide this new directory name. So just write new directory here. After that here we will add the if statement, and in this one we will use file system dot exist sync method, and in this one we have to provide the directory name. So just write dir name. So we have provided this dir name variable. So if this directory exists with this name, in that case we will get this statement true, and this if block will be executed. So in that case we will add console log, and in this console log we will add the message that is directory exists. Suppose if we don't get any folder with this name, then we will add the else statement, and in this else statement we will add the console log. So just copy and paste it here, and here we will add the message directory does not exist. Now we have to save the changes and we will run this code. So just write node app.js. As you can see we have the message directory exists. Suppose we change the directory name, that is new directory 3, that is not available in this folder. So if I run this code again, now you can see the message directory does not exist. So this is how we can check whether a directory exists or not. Now let's comment this code also, and now we will see how to remove a directory from the file system. To delete a directory we can use a asynchronous method and synchronous method. So let's see how to use these methods. So just come back to the VS Code editor, and here we will add file system, and here we will use rmdir method. Here we have to add two parameters, that is the folder name that we want to remove from the file system and callback function. So first we will add the folder name. We will add folder name new directory. After that we will add this callback function. In this callback function we will get the parameter that will be error. So if any error occurs in this process, in that case we will get the error in this function parameter. So now we will check if we have any error. In that case we will return a console error. So just add return console.error, and in this error we will add the message error removing directory, and after that we will add this error we are getting from the parameter. Suppose we don't have any error, in that case we will add console log, and in this one we will add the message that is directory removed successfully. Now let's save the changes and we will run this code. So just write node app.js. Now you can see the message directory removed successfully, and you can see the new directory has been removed from this left sidebar. Now if I run this code again, now we have the error. The error message is error removing directory, and here we have the message that is no such file or directory with the name new directory. So this logic is perfectly working. We have the error also, and if this folder exists then the folder will be removed using this rmdir method. Now let's try with one more example. If I come here, we have the new directory 2. So let's create a new file that is test.txt. So we have created one text file in this new directory folder. Now if I provide the directory name 2, that is new directory 2. So in this one we have the test.txt file rate. So if I try to remove this folder, let's see what happens. Now just press Ctrl S to save the changes, and we will run this file using node app.js. Now you can see we have the error. We have the error message directory not empty. So this method rmdir can only remove the folder if the folder is empty. Suppose the directory is not empty, in that case this rmdir will not work. In that case we have to use the rm method. So to use this rm method, simply copy this one and comment this code, and here we will create the copy of this code. Here instead of this rmdir we will simply write rm, and here we will provide the directory name, and after that we have to add one more parameter, that is recursive, and we will make it true. So to remove the directory that contains files, we have to use this rm method, and here we have to provide parameter recursive true. This rm will accept three parameters: folder name, recursive nature, and callback function. So we have added all the parameters. Now save the changes and try to run this code. So write node app.js, press enter. Now you can see directory removed successfully, and here we don't have that new directory 2 folder. It has been removed from the file system. So this is how we can remove the not empty directory. We can use this rmdir to remove the directory that is already empty, and we can use this rm to remove the directory that contains some file. Now we will see how to rename a directory in Node.js file system. So on the file system, we will get this rename method to rename a directory. So let's see this example. So we will come back to the VS Code editor and we will comment this code. After that, here we will add fs.rename method, and in this method we have to provide 3 parameters, that is the old directory name, then new directory name, and one callback function. So here we don't have any folder, so first we will create a new folder and we will name the folder folder1. So now we have this folder1 in this file system. Now we will use this file system rename method to rename this folder. For that, first parameter we will provide the folder name, that is folder1. After that, we have to provide the second parameter, that is the new name of the folder. So let me write folder2. So we are going to rename the folder1 with folder2. After that, we will add the third parameter, that is callback function. And here in this parameter, we will add error. So if any error occur in this process, then this error will be added in this parameter. And here we will check if we have any error. In that case, we will add the return and we will return console.error, and here we have to provide the message, that is error renaming directory. After that, we will add the parameter, that is error. So we will get the detailed error message in the console log, as you can see in the previous execution. So if the folder will successfully renamed, in that case we will display a success message. So just add console log, and here we will add the message, that is directory renamed successfully. After that, save the changes and we will run this code. So simply write node app.js. So here we have the message directory renamed successfully, and if I see here in the file system, we have the folder2. So previously it was folder1 and we have renamed it to folder2 in the file system using the rename method. Next, we will see how to get the directory stats. So we can use the file system.stat to get the information about a directory or a file. So let's understand it with one example. So just come back to the VS Code editor and we will comment this code, and after that, here we will use the file system.stat method, and in this one we have to provide the directory name. So here we will add the directory, that is Node.js. So simply write /. After that, we have to add the second parameter, that is an arrow function, where we will get the parameter like error and stats. Suppose we get any error, so we will add the if statement and we will check if we have the error. In that case, we will return console.error, where we will add the error from the parameter. And if we don't have any error, in that case we will get the folder stats. So we will print that stats. So let's add console.log and we will add the message, that is directory stats, and here we will add the comma and provide this stats that we are getting from the parameter, as you can see here. If I save the changes and run this code, write node app.js, save the changes, and if I see this log, here we are getting directory stats, and here we have the stats object where we have the property like dev, mode, and link, UID, bulk size, and other details. So if we want to check whether this // is a folder or a file, in that case we can create a new console log, and here we will add the message that is directory. Now in this stats we will add dot, and here we will use directory method. So here also we have many methods that we can use on this stats. So we are using this directory method that will return true when this path is an folder, and if it is an file then it will return false. So just save the changes and run this code again. So we will write node app.js. Now you can see here we have this message is directory true. Suppose if we provide any file name, so here we are providing example.txt and save the changes. Now we will write node app.js. So now you can see we are getting the data, and here we have the is directory property false because this is a file, not a directory. So we can use this stat to get the information about the folder or a file. After that we will see how to watch a directory. So we can use this file system.watch method to monitor any changes in a directory. So let's understand it by using an example. So just comment these code, and here we will use the file system.watch, and here we will add the folder name. So in this method we have to provide two parameters, that is the folder name and the callback function. So first we will provide the folder name. So we will add the directory, that is // and after that we will add the callback function, and in this function we will get two parameters, that will be event type and the second one is file name. So if we watch this Node.js folder, and here if I create any folder or file, then we will get the event type like folder is created and the detail of this folder. So here we will add the console log, and here we will add the template literal. For that just add the backticks, and here we will write event, and after that we will add the $ curly braces. We will provide event type. Let's make it capital T. So we have provided the event type. After that we will add the if statement, and here we will check if we have any file name. In that case we will add the console log, and in this console log we will add the template literal, and we will add the backticks, and here we will add the file name, then $ curly braces, and provide the parameter file name. Now we will save the changes and run this code. So here we will write node app.js. Now you can see this Node.js directory is monitored. Now if I create a new file like example2.txt, press enter. Now you can see we have created a new file, and in this console we have the event, that is rename, and here we have the file name, that is example2.txt. So we have done some mistake. We have to add the file name. So let me correct the spelling, file name, save the changes. Now when we save this file, here we have one event, that is change, and here we have the file name, that is app.js. So we have just renamed this file, and here in this event we are getting this event. So this is how we can monitor a file or folder using this watch method. Next we will see how to handle requests and responses using the HTTP module. So now we will see how to handle HTTP request and responses. As we know, Node.js is a powerful, lightweight runtime for building server-side applications. One of its fundamental features is the ability to handle HTTP requests and responses directly using the built-in HTTP module, as we have seen previously. Now first we will set up an HTTP server. For that we will come back to the VS Code editor, and first let's comment these code, and let me close this file. We will stop this file that we have started previously, so just press Ctrl C in the terminal. Now clear this terminal using CLS. After that, in this folder we will create a new file and write the file name server.js. So we will write server.js. Here in this server.js, we will create this server and we will handle the request and response from this server. So we have to create a basic server first. For that, first we have to get the HTTP module. For that, just add const HTTP equal to require, and here we will provide the HTTP module. Now we have the HTTP module, and using that we will create one server. So just add const server equal to HTTP dot create server, and in this method we have to pass one arrow function, and in this function we will get the parameter that is request and response. The first one is request and the second one is response. By using this server object, we will start this server. So to start this server, first we need a port number. So just add one variable with the name port, and we will add the port number 3000. After that we have to start the server on this port. So simply write server.listen, and in this one first we have to provide the parameter that will be port. So just add the port here, and after that we have to add the arrow function, and in this arrow function we will add the console log, and in this console log we will add the message. So to add the message we will use the template literal, so just add the backticks, and here we will write server is running on HTTP localhost colon, and after that we will add $ curly braces, and we will add the port variable. Suppose we change the port like 4000, then we'll get the console log localhost port 4000. So for now we will keep it 3000. So here we have created basic server. So let's start this server. To start this server, here we have to write node, then write the file name that is server.js. Now press enter. Now you can see the message server is running on port 3000. Now we will understand what is request and response. So here first we will understand what is request. So the request is an object that contains information about the HTTP request made by the client. Suppose if we create any request on our server, in that case we will get these properties like request.method. As we know, HTTP has many methods like get, post, put, and etc. So here we will get that method by which we have created the request. So to get the method of the request, simply use request.method. This is an object. So this property provides us the method of the HTTP request. Similarly, we have the request.url. Using this property, we can get the information like on which URL this request is created. In the request headers, we will get properties like browser or the application that we are using to create the request. Similarly, we have the request.on, that is an listener for receiving the request body in chunks. Then we have the request on end. So in the request object, we have the event, that is end event, that indicates the request body has ended. So we will use all these methods, URL headers, on data, on end, to receive the data using the request. Now we will understand what is response object. So the response object is used to send a response back to the client. Suppose if we get a request and we process the data, then we have to send the data back to the user. For that, we have to use this response. So let's see what are the methods that we can use on the response object. So here, first we have the write head that will help us to send the status code or the headers on the response. Second, we have the response.write method that will help us to add the data on the response so that we can send the data to the user from the response. And at last we have response.end that will indicate that response has been ended. So we will use these request and response to handle the request on the server. First, we will see how to handle get request. For that, we will come back to the VS Code editor, and in this server, here we will add one if statement. First, we have to check whether the request method is get or post. For that, here we will use request.method property that will provide the method type. So first we will check if the method is get, and after that we will check if the request.url is equal to /. In that case, we will execute this block. It means when the request method is get and the URL is /, it means we are hitting the server without any path name using the get method. In that case, we can send one response to the user. For that, here we will use response.writeHead. So we can set the header using this writeHead method. So first we have to add the status code that will be 200. A status code 200 means we have successfully received the request and we are sending the response. After that, we will send the headers that will be content type. And in this content type, we will add text plain. Here we have added content type text plain because in the response we are going to send the data in the form of plain text. After that, we will call response.end that will end the response. And with that, we will add one message, that is welcome to home page. So we have added the message welcome to home page. Suppose if the method is not get and the request URL is not equal to /, in that case, we will add the else statement, and in this one, we will add the header using this writeHead method, and here we will add the status code that is 404. It means that this route is not valid. With that, we will add one content type header. So we will add the content type, and after that we will add the content type value, that is text plain. After that, we will add response.end, and in this one we have to add the message, that is page not found. Now if I save the changes, and after saving the changes, we will rerun our server. So first we have to stop this server. So just add Ctrl+C and again run this node server.js. Now you can see server is running on HTTP localhost port 3000. Now open the web browser and open this URL localhost:3000. Now you can see we have the message called welcome to homepage. And if I open any URL like /test and press enter, now we are getting the message page not found. Because here we have added the filter, that is if the request URL is equal to /, then only we will send the welcome message. So if I add the /test in the URL, then we are getting page not found. This is how we can handle the get method. If we add any URL and press enter, then that request was made as a method get. That's why we are getting this detail like welcome to homepage. To test the server or APIs, we generally don't use browser. We have to use the applications like Postman. So let's open the Postman application. If you don't have the Postman application, you can easily install it from official website easily. So now we are at the Postman application. Here we will click on this icon HTTP request to create a new request. Now from here we can select the method type like get, post, put and many other. So let me select get, and here we have to add the URL. So we will add http://localhost port 3000. So here we have added this address, and if I click on this send button, here you can see we are getting the message welcome to homepage. And here we have the status code 200 that we have set from this line, as you can see here. And here if I write /test and click on send button, now we have the message page not found in the response, and with that we have the status code 404. So this is how we can handle the GET request in Node.js using the HTTP module. After that, we will see how to handle the POST request. So a POST request is a type of request where user can send the request with some data. Now let's see how to handle the POST request in Node server. So in this file, first we will make some changes. So first we will check if the request method is post. So remove this get and we will add post. And here we will check if the request.url is /submit. In that case, we will execute this if block. Else, we will execute this another block, that is the else block. So let's clean the code here. And here in this if block, we will create a variable, that is let body, and it will be equal to an empty string. So here we have created one variable called body, and in this body variable we will store the data that we will get from the user. For that we will use request.on method, and here we will subscribe the event, that is data. So whenever we will receive the data, in that case we will run this function, and in this function we will get the data in the form of chunk. So whenever a request is created with the method post, in that case it has the data, and we will save the data in this body variable. To do that, here we will write body plus equal to, here we will use chunk dot toString method. So the toString method will convert the buffer data to the string data. After that, if the request.on event end is received, it means in that case we will call the function, and in this function we will create one response where we will send a message that the data has been received, and we will also send the data with the response. To do that, first we will use response.writeHead, and in this one we will add the status code, that is 200. With that, here we will define the content type. So here we will write content type, and in this content type we will add the application JSON. Here we will send the response using a JSON format. After that, we will call response.end method, and in this one we will provide a JSON object. So we will add the curly braces and we will add the property, that is message, and in this message we will add a message called data received. With that, we will also add data, and in this data simply add the body, that is the data that we have received from user. So we have set the header content type application JSON, and here we are sending the data using this object. But we cannot send the object directly to the response. First we have to stringify this object. For that, let's remove this object from here, and here we will use JSON interface, and here we will get this stringify method, and in this stringify method we will paste this object. Now we will be able to send this data as a string. Suppose our method is not post and the URL is not submit. In that case, else block will be executed. So here we will send the 404 message. So just add response.writeHead, and in this one we will add the status code, that is 404, and after that we will define the content type, and the content type will be text plain. After that, here we will use the response.end method, and here we will add the message, that is route not found. Now our logic is ready to handle a post request. Now let's understand this logic again. First we are checking if the request.method is post and the URL is /submit. In that case, we have created a variable called body, and where we are storing the data that we are getting from the request. After getting the data in the body from the request, it will call this event, that is end. So whenever this end event will be called, we have to send the response with header, a status code 200, and content type application JSON. And with that, we are adding the message data received, and we have added the data that we have received from the user. Suppose the method is not post and the request URL is not /submit. In that case, else block will be executed, and in that case we have created the response with a status code 404 and content type text plain, and here we have added the message route not found. So next we have to restart this server to apply the changes on the server. For that, come to the terminal and press Ctrl C, and we will again run this code node server.js. Now just come back to the Postman application, and here we will select the method post, and here we will write localhost port 3000/submit, and here in this body we will send some data. So click on body and click on this raw, we will send the raw data. So here we will add some message. So we will write data is 123. Now if I click on this send button, here we are getting the response where you can see message data received, and in this data we are getting the same data that we have sent using this body. So here we have the response in JSON format, and here we have the status code 200. Suppose we will replace it with /test and click on this send button. Now you can see we are getting the message route not found. So this is how we can handle the post request using the Node.js HTTP module. After that, we will see how to handle the query parameters using the HTTP module. For that, we will come back to the VS Code editor. And first we will see what is query parameter. Suppose if we have any URL, and in this URL if we have the question mark, and after the question mark we have the structure like data equal to 1 to 3. So this is called query, where the data is key and the value of that key is 1 to 3. So now we will see how to handle the request like this one in the Node.js. So first we will change the request method to get method, and after that let me remove this statement, and here we will check if the request.url starts with /search. In that case, we will run this if block, else we will run this else block. Let's clean this if block, and we will clean this else block also. After that, we will save all the queries available on this URL in a variable. To do that, we will add const, and here we will create a variable with the name query object equal to url.parse. So first we have to import this URL module. So here we will write const URL equal to required URL, and here in this parse method we have to add the request.url. After that, we will add the second parameter, that is true, and after that we will use .query property. Here we are parsing the URL using this URL module, and if the URL has the query, in that case the queries will be saved in this query object variable. After that, we will create one response. So just add response.writeHead, and in this one we will add the status code 200, and here we will add the content type, and here we will provide application JSON. After that, here we will use response.end, and we will use json.stringify method so that we can send an object in a string format using this response. So we will add the object where we will define the message, and the message is query received. After that, we will add the query object that we have just created here. Now suppose if the method is not get and the URL does not start with /search, in that case we will create a response, and first we will set the header. So just add writeHead, and in this one we will provide the status code 404, and here we will define content type, that will be text plain. After that, we will create the response using this end method, and here we will add the message, that is route not found. Next, we have to save the changes and we have to restart this server. So press Ctrl C and run this node server.js. Now you can see server is running on localhost port 3000. So let's open the Postman application, and here we will select this type get, and here we will provide path. So the path will start from /search, as you can see here. So just add search in this path, and if I click on this send button, here you can see we have the message query received, and in the query object we don't have any data. Now suppose we add question mark, and here we will add the data equal to 123 and click on this send button. Now you can see in this response we have the query object with the data. So the value of this data is 123. So this is how we can handle the query in the Node.js using the HTTP module. Now we will see how to set response headers. So here, as you can see, we are setting the header. So in this header we have provided the content type application.json, and here we have added the content type text plain. So we can also set the custom header that we can use for unique identifier, tracking data, session details, and we can also track the API version information and error code handling. So let's see how to set the custom headers. So here we have added the content type application.json, and if we want to add more headers, we can simply add the headers in this object. So just add a comma here, and here we will add the custom header. So let me add the custom header key name custom header, and in this property we will add the value, that is Node.js server. So we have set the custom headers. Let's organize this code so it will look good. So here, if you want to add multiple headers, simply add a comma like this, and you can add a new header here. So let me add one more, like custom tracking, and we will add the value 1234, save the changes, and after saving the changes, just restart this server. So press Ctrl C and start this file node server.js. Now server is running, so just come back to the Postman application, and now if I click on this send button, now you can see we have the message and query object, that is data 123. Now if I come to this headers, and in this headers you can see content type, then we have the custom header Node.js, then we have custom tracking 1234. So this is how we can handle the request and responses in our Node.js server. Now we will learn what are routes and how to simplify the Node server using these routes. So in real application, we have to create multiple routes. Like if we have users, sellers, etc., then we have to create different routes for different purpose. Suppose if we want to create route for user, then we will create /user route, and if I want to create the route for seller, then we will create /sellers route. Having all the routes in one file can make the code messy, so we will break the things down in different route handler. We can create a simple router object to handle different route. So let's see how to create it. First, let's come back to the VS Code editor, and here we will create a comment, that is route handler. After that, here we will create a variable with the name routes. and it is going to be an object. In this object, we will create different case for different routes. So for the main route, we will add slash, and here we will create one arrow function. And in this arrow function, we have to add request and response. Suppose if anyone hit this route, then we will send the response using the response.writeHead method, and here we will add the header, that is a status code 200, and with that we will add the curly braces, and here we will add the content type text plain that we have added here. So let me just copy it from here and paste it here. After that, we will send the response using the end method, and in this one we will add the message, that is welcome to home page. After that, we will create more properties in this object. So this is for the main route, that is /. After that, we will create a copy of this, and here we will add the route, that is /about. Now in this response end, we will add, this is the about page. Similarly, we will copy it and paste it one more time, and here we will create a route, that is not found. After that, we will change the status code, it will be 404. And in this response.end, we will add the message, that is page not found. Now you can see for different route we have created different responses. Now we have to use this routes object in the server. To do that, first let's remove this if and else statement from here, from this server. Now this server function is clear, and here first we will get the path name from the URL. So just add const curly braces. So we have added the curly braces because we have to destructure the path name from URL. For that, we are going to use url.parse, and in this one we will provide request.url. So here we will get the path name from request.url that we are getting from this parameter. After getting the path name, we have to call the properties according to this path name. Suppose our path name is /, then we will call this function. If the path name is about, in that case we will call this function. To do that, here we will add the if statement, and here we will check if the routes contains this path name. In that case we will call routes, and here we will provide the path name. With that, we have to send the parameter, that is request and response. So here simply we are checking if this path name is available in this route. In that case, we will call the function. With that, we are sending the request and response as a parameter. Now suppose if the route object does not have this path name that is requested. So in that case, we will add the else statement, and in this else statement, we will write routes object, and here we will add this /not found. With that, we will pass the request and response. Next, we have to save the changes, and from this terminal, we will restart this server. So press Ctrl C and write node server.js. Now our server is running. Now just come back to the Postman application and we'll create a GET request at this / path. So just click on this send button. So you can see in this body we are getting the response, welcome to home page. So this function is getting executed. Suppose we change the path, here we will add /about and click on the send button. Now we have the response, this is the about page. And here if I provide any other path name like test and click on this send button, here we have the message page not found. So we are getting that page not found from this response. So this is how we can simply handle multiple routes in this server. Now we will see how to handle dynamic routes. So let's understand what is dynamic routes first. If you ever visit the e-commerce website, then you will see the URL like website.com/products/item1. So if you visit this e-commerce website, you will see the URL like this, products/item. The path name is products and this is the dynamic route that will change according to the product, that is the item 1. So we will see how to handle this type of request in the Node.js server. For that we will open VS Code editor and here we will remove the routes from here. We will clear this server function and now we will see how to handle the dynamic routes. To handle the dynamic routes, first we have to get the path name. For that we will add const curly braces path name and we will get it from url.parse and here we have to provide request.url. After that we will check if the path name dot starts with /user/. In that case we will extract the user ID from this URL. If I hit this user route with the ID like 1234, in that case we will store this ID in a variable to perform the operation. To store the ID, simply write const user ID equal to, and here we will use the path name dot split method and we will split using this slash. After that we have to get the index number 2 that will extract the user ID from the URL. After that, here we will create a response. For that let's add a response.writeHead and here we will set the status code 200. With that we will add the content type. We will add the content type, that is text plain. After that here we will add response.end. We will send the response using this end method and here we will provide template literal, so just add the backticks and we will add the message, that is user ID, and here we will add the user ID that we are getting in this variable. So just add $ curly braces and here we will provide user ID. Now suppose if the path name does not start with /user, then we will add the else statement and here we will add the header in the response. So just add response.writeHead and here we will add the status code 404. With that we will add the content type, that is text plain. After that we will send the response with the message route not found. Now we will save the changes and restart our server. So press Ctrl C and run this code node server.js. Now our server is running. Now just open the Postman application, and from here, if we call route, that is /user / here we will add some user ID. So let's add the random text and click on the send button. So now you can see we have added the ID here in the URL, and in this response we are getting the user ID. So this is how we can handle the dynamic routes using the Node server. Now we will see what are middleware and how to use them. Middleware is a concept where a function can be used to process incoming requests before they reach their final destination and handles the outgoing response before they are sent back to the client. Middleware functions are often used for login, authentication, validation, etc. So let's understand it with an example. So we will come back to the VS Code editor, and here we have to create a middleware function. So we will add the comment, and here we will write middleware function for logging request. After that we will create one function. So we will add the function, write the function name, that is log request, and create this function. After that, in this function we have to add three parameters. First one is request, then response, and one callback function. So simply add next. Here we will add the console log. In this console log we will log the request method in the request URL. For that we will add the backticks, then add $, curly braces, and here we will add request.method. After that we will add the message, that is request made to, then we will add $, curly braces, then we will add request.url. After this console log, simply call this callback function, that is next. So here we have created a simple middleware that will console log all the requests that we make on the server. To add this middleware on our server, first we have to remove this function from here. Now in this create server, first we have to add one arrow function. In this arrow function we have to get request and response, and here we will call log request function, and in this function we have to pass this request response, and in the callback function we will paste this function. After adding this function we will come here, and in this next function also we will provide request and response. Now we will save the changes and we have to restart this server again. So press Ctrl C and open node server.js. Now our server is running on localhost port 3000. So let's come back to the Postman application and again click on this send button. Now you can see we have the message user ID and we have the ID. And if I come back to the terminal, here you can see we have the message get request made to /user/ this random text. If I change this type to post and click on the send button, and you can see we have the user ID. And if I come back to the VS Code, and here you can see the message post request made to user/user ID. So here we have created one middleware that will console log the request method, and to which URL the request is created. This is how we can create multiple middleware also, and we can connect multiple middleware with our project. Now we will see how to handle URL encoded data. So whenever a user submits a form on HTML website, then that request is created as a URL encoded data. So let's see how to handle this type of request in the Node.js server. For that, we will come back to the VS Code editor, and here we will remove this middleware. And let's clear this server function. In this function, first we will add one if statement, and here we will check if our request dot method is equal to post. With that, we will check request.url must be /submit. So whenever a form data is submitted, then we must have to submit the form data using the post request because it contains the form data of the user that is generally handled by the post method. Suppose our method is post and our requested URL is /submit. So in that case, we will create a variable with the name data, and in this one, we will save the data that we are receiving from the user. To save the data on this variable, we will use request.on method, and we will add the listener, that is data event. Here we will add one function, and in this function we will get the data in the chunks. Here we will save the chunks data on the data variable. For that, we will add data plus equal to chunk. After that, if we receive all the data, in that case, here we will add the listener, that is end event, and here we will add the function. In this function, first we have to parse this data because this is not a normal data, this is the form data. So first we have to parse this data. To parse this data, we will use query string. So here, first import that query string module. So just add const query string equal to required, and here we will provide the module name query string. After that, here we have to parse this data. So just add const parsed data equal to query string dot parse method, and in this one we have to simply provide the data variable. After that, here we will create one response. For that, first we will send the headers. So just add response dot write head. In this one we will add the status code 200, and with that we will add the object where we will define the content type. So the content type will be application JSON. After that, we will create response dot end. So we will send the response using this response dot end, and in this one we will add JSON dot stringify method where we will add the object with the message property, and in this message property we will add the message form data received. With this message we will add the parsed data also, so that we can see this data on the Postman application. Now we will save the changes, and after that we have to restart the server. So press Ctrl C and again run node server.js to start this server. Now we will open the Postman application, and from here we will select post, and after that here we have to provide the route, that is /submit. After that we will select this form URL encoded, and here we have to add the key value. So we will add the email, then we will add the password, and in the value let's add one dummy email ID, email@gmail.com, and in the password we'll add 128 and click on the send button. Now you can see we have the response with the message form data received, and here in this parsed data object we have the email and password. So this is how we can handle the URL encoded form data in the Node.js server application. After that, we will see what are event emitters and how to create one, remove one, and how to handle the errors using this event emitters. So the event emitter class from the events module is at the core of event-driven programming in Node.js. It allows you to create, handle, and listen to custom events. So first we will see how to register an event. So let's come back to the VS Code editor. Now we will close this file and we will stop this server using Ctrl C. And let's clear this console. Now we will open this app.js file, and here first we will see how to create an event. For that we will add const, then write event emitter equal to required, and here we will use the events module. By using this event emitter, we have to create one emitter instance. So just add const, then write emitter equal to new event emitter, and we will use this event emitter to create an emitter. After that, we will use this emitter to register an event. So let's see how to register an event. So we will add one comment, and let's add the comment registering an event listener. Now here we will use emitter.on method, and here we can add one event name. So we will add the event name, that is test1. After that, here we have to provide one arrow function, and here we have to define the logic, what to do when this event is called. So just add one console log, and in this one we will add the message, that is an event has occurred. So here we have created an event. Now suppose if we want to call this event, then we will use this emitter.emit method, and in this method we have to provide the event name. So let's provide the event name test1. That is our event name. Now we will save the changes and we will run this file. So to run this file, we will write node app.js. Press enter. Now you can see the message in terminal because this event has been called. So in this terminal we have the message, an event has occurred. That is coming from this console log. So this is how we can register an event, and we can call the event using this emit method. After that, we will see how to add multiple listener on single event. Suppose here we have this test1 event, and we will create multiple listener for this event. So just copy this one and paste the same code again. Here we will add the same name. We have provided test1, and here also we will add test1, but in the console log let's write an event has occurred in test1, and here we will write an event has occurred in test2. Now if I save the changes and run this file again, So you can see we have the message an event has occurred in test1, and after that we have the message an event has occurred in test2. So we have called this event test1 that is running both console. So we have registered 2 listeners for the single event, and when we call that event then both function is called. So this is how we can register multiple listener on single event. Now we will see how to remove the event listener. To remove the event listener, first we will remove this second listener, and here we have only one listener, that is test1. And here if we are calling this test1, so after calling this emit method, if we call emitter dot remove listener, and if I provide the event name, that is test1, so it will remove the event. To confirm it, we will again call this emit method and provide the test1 event name. So first we are calling the event that will execute this function, and when we remove this listener, again we are calling this emit method, then we'll get nothing in the console. So let's try this logic and save the changes. Write node app.js in the terminal, press enter. Now you can see here we have one error because we have successfully removed the event listener, and again we are trying to call this test1 event that is not available. So in that case we have this error. So now we will see how to handle the errors in event. Now if an error event is emitted and no listener is registered, in that case Node.js will throw an uncaught exception, as you can see here. So after registering this event, we will register one more event, that is emitter.on, and the event name will be error. After that we will add the function, and in this function we will get the error. After that in this function we will add the console error, so just add console.error, and here we will add the message, that is error event, and in this one we will add the error.message that we will receive from this error. Now to use this error event, first we have to use the try catch block. So after this, here we will add the try catch statement, and after that let's cut this code from here and paste it in this try block. So the try and catch block is used to handle the error that is caused in runtime environment. As you can see here, we have pasted these 3 lines of code in the try block, and if any error occurs during the execution of this code, then this catch block will be executed with this error. So when the catch block is executed, here we will simply call the emitter.emit method, and here we will call the error event, and in this one simply pass this error that we are getting from this catch block. So this catch block will catch the error, and this emitter will console log that error. Now to check this code, just save the changes and run node app.js. Now you can see we have the message an event has occurred in test1 that we have called here, and after that we have removed the listener, and again we are trying to call this test1 event. So in that case this catch block will be executed, and this emitter will call the event called error, and this error event will console log the error message, as you can see here. So we are getting this error.message, that is the listener argument must be of type function received undefined. We are getting this message because we have already removed the event listener using this code. So this is how we can handle the errors in Node.js using the event. So now we have covered most of the useful and important topic of Node.js for beginners. I hope you like this tutorial. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video.